Hello guys, and welcome to Brands Hatch for the fourth race weekend here, or the fourth race in general in this Formula A Project Cars career mode. We are just gonna be accelerating the time here a little bit, make sure everybody gets out of the way. Hopefully that'll create a little bit of space for us here so that we can go out and get some clean laps in, and hopefully that is going to take us to the front of the grid. So jumping head first into the fray here as we come through Clark. This is going to be our first lap in this qualifying session here, and it'll be interesting to see where this takes us. 1:08 something. That is not particularly great. It's only good enough to get us into P20 there, so we are going to be staying out for a couple of additional laps here. One more time coming through Clark, out on the main straight here. This should be a much better lap here the second time around. As you can see, this is our fourth lap, as a matter of fact. 1:07.943. That is good enough for fourth on the grid here, but we are making mistakes here still, and I kind of get the feeling there that we have more left in the car here. This is lap 5. We are basically running out of fuel. Time is running out as well. This is our last ditch effort if we are going to be improving on this time here, and wouldn't you know it, we actually managed pole position with this particular lap here. Very happy with this one. So looking very good for tomorrow's race here. An Auto Rebel 1-2 here as we have our teammate Fabio right behind us in the second spot there. So it's going to be interesting to see just how the start is going to play out here as we are getting ready to get off the grid here. We have our teammate Fabio on our right shoulder there, and it's going to be absolutely imperative to get out of the gate nicely here, make it into the first turn as the first car there. And we are not going to be making it into the first turn as the number one car, as we have a lot of wheel spin here, and Fabio takes full advantage of that, dives down the inside of us there, and we are into P2 already here. Trying to have a bit of a vain look as we come through Druids there down the inside, but there is no room whatsoever here, and we are going to have to find some spot to put Fabio under pressure here, because obviously here on Brands Hatch, this is pretty much like Donington really. In many respects, these two tracks are quite similar. Very, very narrow, quite hilly as well, and not with too many overtaking possibilities here. The current status right here is that we are in P2, our teammate Fabio is in P1, and we currently have Marcus Larson in P3 right behind us there, just about half a second down. As you can see there at the moment, we have 4 very cold tires. They're almost losing the back end as we come through Sterling here, thankfully managing to save that and remain in P2. Jumping ahead to lap 4 here, as you can see, Fabio is definitely opening up a bit of a gap on us right now. He's almost 5 seconds up the road here. So currently he's lapping about a second per lap faster than we are. And also, our Marcus Larson no longer in P3. We are now dancing with Jeffrey Belk, who is definitely putting us under pressure from behind at the moment here. And right now it's a little bit about defending more than it actually is about racing, because currently it seems that the AI have the upper hand on us here. We are having trouble matching Fabio, and we are having trouble keeping people behind us here. Skipping to lap 6 here, coming through Druids, we failed to close the door properly there on Marcus Larson, and he takes full advantage of that and moves into P2 there, leaving us in P3, having to contend with Jeffrey Belk, who is definitely putting us under pressure here as well, and again, failing to take the inside line properly there, closing the inside line off, and we lose another position here as Jeffrey Belk goes down the inside of us. Definitely not going our way at the moment here as we come down into Westfield here. We're going to see if we can have a look down the inside of Jeffrey Belk there. There is contact. Both cars are off track, at least momentarily there. We managed to recover, lose another couple of positions there. We're down into P5. They're almost losing the car yet again there. Get hit from behind by someone. Not really sure what happened there, but one thing I do know, and that is that our steering has been damaged, and that is definitely not good news right now. Not really sure whether we can go on with this kind of damage here, or if we have to pit here. We may have to make an early pit stop. And on the very next lap, that is exactly what we do. We are way down the field here, and all we can hope for here is to get our damage fixed and go out there, hopefully put in some fast laps and maybe make up a few positions there when the AI go in to change their tires later, hopefully. Anyway, we are going to be rejoining the track here, most likely dead last, unless somebody is out of the race already, and it appears that Florian Maslin is out of the race. Anyway, as you can see here, we are trailing the P20 car there of Brian Herring by almost 27 seconds, so we are definitely going to be needing some fast laps here. Skipping ahead to lap 21 here, as you can see, we are definitely closing the gap on Brian Herring quite dramatically here. We have closed the gap to only about 10 seconds there, but as you can see, almost only about 17 laps remaining here, so we are definitely starting to run out of time, and I really doubt that we are going to be making up too many positions here unless the AI go in to change their tires at some point. Anyway, jumping to lap 27 here, we pretty much catch up to Brian Herring and pass him in the same move there. Pretty undramatic to say the least there, as we are now into P20. Skipping to lap 29 here, we are closing the gap on the P19 car, Duncan O'Halloran, and as you can see there, there's another car directly ahead of him. I'm not really sure who that is, but at this point here, again, the AI seem to be tailing off quite dramatically here, at least the back markers are, and it'll be interesting to see how many spots we can actually make up here, just in case the AI does not go into pit later on. The only problem right now is that we are driving on a track like Brands Hatch here, where the overtaking opportunities are few and far between, to say the least here. As we come out of Sterling, it appears that, again, the AI seems to be pretty fast here in a straight line. As we come through Clark here, we're going to have a look down the inside here of Duncan O'Halloran. We make the move stick as we are into P19 here with only 9 laps remaining. And coming through Druids here, we are right on the rear wing here of the P18 car, Dirk Clapham. But again, the problem remains. We need to find a proper spot to actually move in and see if we can't overtake him here. And we don't want to do anything reckless right now. Reckless overtaking is pretty much what's got us into this mess here in the first place. And we really need to drive a disciplined race here for the remaining 9 laps. Coming out of Hawthorne here, we seem to have the pace advantage here, but coming into Westfield, we just have to back out of that move here. We do not want to make any more ill-fated decisions in that particular turn. And again here, pretty well illustrated as we come out of Sterling here. We really don't have any other spots rather than Clark where we can actually mount a successful overtaking attempt here. Again, going down the inside, no problem whatsoever, but that took us almost an entire lap. Skipping ahead to lap 32 here, as you can see, we are catching a larger field of cars here, as a matter of fact. Bert Nienhuis is currently in P7. We are closing the gap on him. Coming out of Sterling here, heading into Clark, we need to see if we can't take another position here in that particular corner. One more time, going down the inside here, hard on the throttle. We make the move stick as we are into P17, currently chasing Laszlo Illies. Right on the rear bumper there of Laszlo Illies coming through Druids here. We're going to have a look down the inside here, heading into Graham Hill. A little bit of contact there. Laszlo Illies goes off track. We probably should have gotten a penalty for that one. Skipping ahead to lap 35 here, as you can see, we are pretty much catching the entire field here as we dive down the inside of Christian Borgens coming into Westfield. So we're not quite done taking chances in that particular turn here. We are now closing the gap on last weekend's race winner there at Zhuhai, Anthony Lowe. And Whoa, almost losing the car here, coming through Sterling one more time here. We are definitely starting to feel the tire wear here. We made that very early pit stop, but look what happens ahead of us there. Anthony Lowe making contact with Frank Landron. He pulls out directly ahead of us there. We need to evade, and having the rear wing open as we are currently using DRS, we lose the back end, hit the wall, get torpedoed by I don't know how many cars, and that is it for us here on lap 36, pretty much rounding off a very miserable weekend. And I gotta admit, I guess I got a little bit reckless in this particular race here. I had no business trying to pass Jeffrey Belk there in Westfield in the first place, and obviously that left us there with that ill-fated pit stop there that really seemed to cost us. And from then on out, it was just an uphill battle. They're really taking way too many chances in that race, and I guess if we are to point any fingers here, we need to point them at ourselves. The good news is that Fabio takes the win here today, so I guess the points still remain in the Auto Rebel family, and as you can see there, the championship standing so far, we are still leading that race. Fabio now in second there, sharing the glory with Alan F. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more Project Cars action, or if you want to tell me how bad I sucked, that's alright too. Bye-bye.